So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to the 11th Town Hall for May. Today, this is session 2. So yeah, this is my first one hosting. I'm very excited to host, and thanks obviously for Luke for joining me. Just to cover what we'll just basically be talking today. I don't think it's going to be an extremely long session. Luke's going to take us through a bit of extra billing updates. So he'll probably do that towards the end of the session, take us through some billing updates, just to an update on where we are. What are the next steps for us to start communicating some stuff around moving some of the agencies across to the reseller offering. I'm also going to jump quickly into just talking about some community sessions I would like to start doing with clients, with agencies this year. So we'll just touch a bit on that as well. And then, yeah, also what we were going to just discuss is just talk about the new changes and updates to the status page. So we've spent a bit of time this week just making sure we're communicating all the downtimes, making sure we're updated correctly from our third-party providers. So I'll just be taking you through the status page. We'll look at that. And then I'll just walk you through the quick way to sign up to the notifications as well. Okay. But yeah, so just to start with the community session. So if all of you don't know, so I'm coming towards the end of my second month at SiteGlide. Once I'm definitely a little bit more settled, I want to be having some more sessions with different clients and agencies. And that's going to probably look around something like, different types of training sessions we're going to be doing. So if you guys ever have any sort of input or anything that you would like to do, if there's stuff that, we can enable you to become a little bit more streamlined with on SiteGlide, please do let us know. We've already gotten a few kind of example sessions that people would like to do. And then we can start planning that into our calendar. Anything I can't do from a technical perspective, we'll loop in the correct people. So yeah, definitely let us know, because we would like to, start doing some additional training sessions. I have still got a bit more ramping up to do, but I'm still something we can leverage off, Luke or the guys at Site Gurus, to get you guys enabled in the product. Okay, so yeah, definitely let us know about any training you're wanting, maybe certain features that you need a bit of assistance with. And then what we would also be looking to do, and this would be a little bit more of maybe a direct session. So any agencies that would like to set up any recurring sessions with me, I'm happy to do that. I think it'll be great for us to maybe, if you would like to meet once a quarter or even monthly, just so we can understand, if there's any pain points you guys are dealing with, any frustrations, at least we can deal with it up front and, sooner than rather later. So definitely just keep that in mind. If there's things coming up with your team, think about the different training sessions, what sort of topics you would like to do, and then also reach out to us directly if you would like to set up any recurring sessions with myself, and maybe Luke can join as well if it's anything too detailed. And I think that would be great. The more we spend time together, just to ensuring you guys are getting the most out of the platform. It also helps me to understand where we need to be focusing our time, where you also need to, maybe there's certain things we need to focus on. Okay. So yeah, so just think about the community sessions, reach out to myself or Luke if there's any kind of maybe recurring session that you would like. Maybe there's a certain big client you're trying to bring on. Definitely reach out to us and let's meet up and, see how we can assist you. Okay. The next thing we're talking about, is just the updates we've made around downtimes and notifying clients around that. So what we've done is we've implemented a bit of an update on our status website. So I'm going to quickly share a screen quickly, and we'll just take you through where to find that. So give me one sec. There we go. I think that should be sharing. Is that sharing the main website page there, Luke?
It is, yeah. You've got the other tab. Yeah.
Perfect. Great. So yeah, so to get to the update status page, I definitely recommend you go there, have a look at it, know where it is, and also go and sign up for the notifications. We want you to ensure sure that you do get every update that we do post there. You are going to be posting any changes there as well. So you come to status page, it'll take you to the status page for SiteGlide. As you can see, it is a bit different, but we've just streamlined it a bit. So you'll see at the top here, we've got the status. We've got up any maintenance that is coming. So you'll see there's actually an update on some maintenance happening on Thursday. This is something that would have been notified to you if you do go and sign up. So you'll see there is something there for Thursday. And then you can also go back and look at previous incidents. So really, really helpful. It tells you what happened. And the nice thing is, because we are getting what we've done as well, is we've set up some integrations with into our own Discord channels. So then we can also get notified immediately when these downtimes and issues happen. So we'll definitely be posting these more consistently. And then very, very easily, you can come straight to the updates page here, put your email address in, and then you'll be sent all the notifications. So as we post it, it'll come straight to you. You can let your teams know. And I think that's going to ensure everyone is aware of it. We do apologize for, I think this week we weren't too sure of a maintenance, but we did speak to one of our third-party providers just to ensure we got the communication. And then we've also set up just those notifications straight to us in Discord as well. The nice thing also with it is, if you go down to the main status page, you can also go back and you can look at different statuses over a period of time. And you'll see, so we had an API downtime this week, but if you go here, it actually takes you straight to what the breakdown of that is and what happens. So it's really easy to get the information, understand what's coming. But yeah, I would recommend you visit the page and at least share with your teams so they know as well. I think the more people that are signed up there, the easier it is for everyone to be updated. Okay. But yeah,
just
so
a quick one.
Yeah.
Just quickly to add to that, Colin. Yeah, been discussing it with customers, and obviously you being able to talk to your customers as well and give them reasons or a bit of a heads up or whatever it might be, if it's for maintenance, for example. But very quickly on this one that happened last week, just so that I mentioned it this morning in the other town hall. There's actually quite a few that happen that are third part, like most of the degraded performance or something like that is normally linked to a third party, and it's quite a lot beyond our control. So this is something that you can kind of explain to customers that it's maybe AWS, for example, or something like that, rather than always specifically the platform. In this case, it was a third party changed an IP address that was a fixed IP address and had been for years. And it was therefore then seen by Platform OS as a DDoS attack. So not a problem at the Platform OS end at all. But we've worked with them to make sure that there's now a process in place to not rely solely on the IP address. They now use our token. So yeah, this is hopefully very helpful for you to better understand what's going on at our end, but also discuss with customers, give them a heads up on maintenance, that kind of stuff.
Perfect. Thanks, Luke. So yeah, definitely share this with your teams. I think it's going to be super useful. We're going to keep managing that status page as anything comes out. So you're always going to get those notifications and be aware of anything that happens, which is really great. Other than that, I'm just trying to see that. I think I've covered everything. I think I'm just going to hand over to you, Luke, and we're going to cover. You're going to jump into a bit more of the detailed where we are with billing.
Yeah, sure. No worries. I'll just share my screen as well. I had a couple of tiny updates that I mentioned. Well, not tiny updates, but quickly to mention that I mentioned this morning in the call. So I'll do the same. If I don't go into detail or we don't get questions on this one, then maybe have a little look at the previous recording as well if you want more detail on these. So I'll pull that up now. The first one to mention is that very recently, probably last couple of weeks ago, there was a new template released in the marketplace, building on top of Site Builder. So SiteGuru's released one called Portal Site. So if you'd seen them before, you'd be able to build a quick landing page or marketing site really quickly just by clicking and creating from template. There's now one specifically for portals. So that really gives you the bare bones to work from in terms of building out like login area on top of an existing site maybe, or a more complex portal application kind of thing. So that's available. It has things like, this is just one that I spun up earlier, so it has lots of pages built in, some of which are in secure zones. It has the whole sign up login process built in automatically. Those kind of workflows can actually be the most time consuming part of projects, and it just gives you that bare bones set up. You've also got things like a web app specifically for companies in this example, where you can kind of add new items and manage them. It's hard to know what to do in a template because every project is different, but I think a company directory is a good example of the kind of thing you might want to build. You could just rename it, or you could create a new one yourselves and take it from there, really. So it's all built with Site Builder. It's all Flowbytes, so you can actually really easily build on top as well. If you wanted to add some more front-end pages, for example, or more sections, you could do that very easily. Yeah, I mean, in the call this morning, a couple of people were talking about needing to do this kind of project, and I'm going to get started with it and give some feedback. If anybody wants to give it a go or has some projects in mind that it's for, then please do give it a go and give us some feedback. It would be very, very helpful. It's just the beginning, really. We'll keep advancing these kind of templates and adding in more features based on suggestions. One tiny thing to mention is for the front end web app item submit, we've implemented a rich text editor. It's actually been discussed in Discord quite a lot in the last couple of weeks anyway, alongside this. So I wanted to highlight that because this is using Tiny MCE, which I would have thought most people are familiar with. You can just sign up for a free account. You can put your domain in the list, and you put your API key in just in the settings in Site Builder. So if you come to here, you could just put your API key in, and that will all then work off a free account. So it's quite a nice improvement. I know that others have been looking to do that bespoke each time, so this would save you having to. Yeah, that's probably everything there, really. Ask away if you have any questions, or just test it out, basically. Right. The only other one, I seem to have actually closed that tab down. Yeah, we'll jump straight into pricing and keep this one a bit shorter. The last call this morning was an hour, so I'll keep this one a shorter version, and we'll also be sending out more details anyway. But just to summarize, the new pricing that we've sent out by email and it's been talking about for months now is now live. So the model of it all being sort of more unit-based rather than individual metrics. So they're live on the website: Essential, Launch, and Enterprise. They're just 3 of the plans that we trying to show a sort of range from. But if you go to the back end and you're in billing plans, you'll see the full range of those six site plans that you can use immediately. And yeah, as I mentioned, very similar to the current or the old model, but rather than you having individual metrics of like records, emails, API calls, that kind of stuff, it's all bundled now into units, giving you a lot more flexibility in terms of what you use SiteGlide for. But for agencies, the way more powerful way of doing it, simpler, easier to manage, more profitable, more flexible would be the reseller model. So we put a lot of time and effort into building this and simplifying it, but also the hardest bit has been how we're going to help agencies migrate across to it, because it's obviously a completely different model where you have one bill with us where we total up instances, domains, and then units at different unit rates. If you're not familiar with this, basically the more units you have, the more you're going to save because the unit rate reduces, and that allows you to have way better sort of margins when reselling onto customers. You could sell the normal plans or build your own, knowing that you're only paying us for exactly what you use. I went through this in quite a lot of detail earlier, and I'm going to be sending out a video and more detail very soon. We'll be sending out an itemized, a bespoke offer to each agency, essentially to summarize how it would work. But I'll very quickly walk through it. Just on this overview page. So the first step would be to review the data across all of your sites, pull it all together, number of sites, domains, units, current spend, that kind of stuff. And then we map that onto the new reseller plan, and we need to check whether your spend is higher or lower, because the whole way that this works is that we keep the costs the same for you, which means you can keep it the same for your customers. And it's the same with Platform OS as well. So it had to work holistically, really. So if it's higher, we'll then apply a discount and send over a custom offer for you, so that effectively there's no change in cost. Discuss it with you, and then if you're happy to go ahead with that, we would switch all the subscriptions over for you, and you'd have a new UI where you'd be able to see the reseller plan, and you'd have a single Stripe subscription and invoice. Just quickly to show what the UI looks like. We're close to releasing it, but this is pretty much what it would be. It would tell you total charges based on how many instances, domains, and units you have, and then a breakdown of the different sites based on, again, their combined usage. That should really help you analyze which sites maybe are costing you more money, how many sites you have, what the total cost is, that kind of stuff. And the Stripe invoice will show the actual spend in terms of any discounts and those kind of things. So this is billed monthly in arrears. That's much simpler in terms of not having to handle upgrades and overages and all of that anymore. You're literally just going to get a bill for exactly what you use across all of the sites that you put on this. Jumping back to here again, there's a couple of notes to point out. First instance is free on this new model, and your free partner site will essentially use up that slot if you have one, if you have a free partner site. This offer, the sort of matching offer, will likely only be available for a short amount of time, probably something like 30 days from when we send it across to you. Few reasons for that really. We, like, admin wise, it's quite a bit of work, and we'd rather just focus on that with you now, get it done, and there shouldn't really be any reason. It should be a big improvement on the current billing. So obviously ask away for any questions, but hopefully we can just get those processed for you and run everything off the new model. A couple of last points. You could choose just to use reseller for new sites going forwards, or only move certain sites over. It's totally up to you, but obviously the benefit of it is the economies of scale as you have more units. So it's actually better to it's going to be far more cost effective to move them all across, and obviously we're doing the offer to match the price as well. And then finally on that, any existing annual subscriptions where you've paid for, you've got 10 months left or anything like that, Stripe will automatically prorate that to your account in Stripe when we change it over. So we'll move the sites to the new reseller model, and the old subscriptions will be cancelled down essentially with any of that remaining time. I think they do it down to the minute. Will be added to your balance in Stripe, so that your first reseller bill might be zero, for example, first few potentially, until you've used up that balance from any of those annual subscriptions. It's been very complex to try and work all of this out, but I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for you guys, and also the model itself, keep it as simple as possible. Without going into too much, I think I'll just very quickly show what I'm essentially going to send across to you, but I'll just show it with example dummy data so you can kind of get a feel for it before you receive it. So if we take Agency X, assume they've got 10 sites, 10 domains, total units of 51,000 across the whole of the 10 sites, roughly 5,000 per site. So their current spend is, say, $400, because there's some discounts applied from some of maybe the old plans and offers that they took up, and then after the discount it would be $600. So those discounts might end in, say, a year's time. So what we're doing is trying to map that for you, so that you don't suddenly have a new price. So on the reseller model, in this example, the new price would be 519. Now this offer would be to match it to the 400. We go across to this tab, the offer version. We're just going to apply a discount code for the remaining time, so it brings your price back down to that. We're also trying to map the future MRR, so the future cost as well. So it's effectively just the same, but there'll probably be some cases where it's a little bit lower for you, and that's just an upside. Looking at another one, yeah, I mean, we'll send across the exact example. It will be more based on your data that you'll be interested in, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of how we're taking total usage across the agency, looking at your current spend, and then trying to work out how we, in this example here, it would have been quite a bit more expensive on the new model. But then once we apply some discounts and some free units in this example, it would bring the cost back down in line, and a little bit of a saving there. So I don't think I'll explain any more now. You'll receive one of these from me in the next coming days. I'll say days. It should be this week or next, outlining what it looks like. But essentially, it shouldn't be any surprises. It should be your existing total spend and how the calculation we've come to match that, like it is here. Anything to add on that, Colin, do you think? Hopefully it's quite a hard thing to explain, but hopefully that has covered most of it.
Yeah, I think it does. And I think the big thing for me that stood out since I've been part of the big billing change is once you start looking at, I think this is a big thing I think we'll discuss with agencies, is once you start putting all those units together under one, and even though you're charging each of those, your customers, a certain package, grouping them all together gives you, I was looking at it, when I even looked at the percentage of the margins, I was like, man, this is a good deal here. So yeah, I think just being aware of that is by moving to that reseller model, grouping your units together and still charging your clients at that package rate is going to open up some good margins there. And I think it'll also give you something to play around if you're trying to bring on a client, or so I definitely think it's going to give everyone a bit more wiggle room when they need it, and there's also going to a bit more margin as well. So I think it's been a lot of work you've done, and I think it's going to be super interesting once everyone starts really seeing the value.
Hopefully, yes. That reminds me of something I'll mention, but yeah, somebody asked sort of what the initial thoughts were this morning in the first town hall, and the answer I got was it seems quite simple, which was a surprise, a nice surprise, because it definitely doesn't feel simple for me, but I have done everything I possibly can to simplify it from sort of the agency perspective and make it as seamless as possible. Just to your point quickly, the potential, the whole point of this was to increase flexibility of the platform, mean that you can sell any site to anyone effectively now. There's no minimum, there's no high barrier to entry. There's no, well, what if my site has a load of API calls? I'm going to have to go up 3 plans just because of that metric. We've got rid of all of that. We've made it completely flexible so that you just pay for what you use, you resell it however you like. And yeah, if you put people on a plan that has allowances, like the ones I've showed you, the site plans, and they don't use all of their allowance, then you're not paying for that differential. You only pay for what they're actually using. So there's a big potential there to have good margin. If you help them manage their sites and you help them keep their usage down, let's say, or help them with that, then there's no reason why you guys can't benefit from that saving as well. So lots and lots of potential, especially as we bring in, this is definitely not something that's sort of very immediate, but as things like AI comes in and more features that are, I think we'll find that everything becomes more usage based in the SaaS world. Products have moved to usage based billing for quite a while now, and they tend to work better on that model. But as we want to allow people to do anything with SiteGlide, there's going to be many cases where it only really works on a usage basis. So I think you'll find it much easier to resell that to people, a bit like when CRM and email marketing came along. You can't sell that on a fixed price, really. You basically have to at some point sell it on a seats or emails or contacts level. When more AI tools come in, which we're looking at, and I'll have some different updates on that soon, you're going to need to charge people based on usage and what they do. So I really feel we've paved the way for being able to bring in any kind of functionality and help you build any kind of project. Yeah, I'll be in touch very soon on that. If anybody has any immediate questions or thoughts on what they've seen, just shout. But I think it'll be much easier to discuss the specifics of your sites and your usage in the coming days.
Perfect. Yeah, I think definitely, there's definitely a lot of potential there. And like you were saying, if people aren't using, then you can either motivates you, the people that aren't using the additional credits the other guys will use, or it motivates you to at least get them up to the correct package, which does help you as well. I think that's also quite helpful as well. I don't know, should we open it to see if there's any questions from David,
definitely.
Josh, and Julia?
Any questions on billing specifically first, I guess, and then obviously open floor to anything else you'd like to discuss, any requests, any issues, that kind of thing, any projects that you've been working on that you want to share.
Yeah,
hopefully silence means that everything's going well, but
that everyone's building. Maybe everyone's just building sites on SiteGlide right now. Maybe that's what's
just busy. Yeah.
Yeah. I think also a nice thing to anyone who's seeing these recordings, please, if you can't even make a town hall, or if there's something you want discussed, also, like we will say in the emails that go out, just post your picture, your questions to the town hall channel in Discord. If you can't attend, we'll make sure that we get some answers for you, and we'll feed it back to you. So I think that's really important as well, that don't feel like you can't send us questions if you're unable to attend for any reason. We always want to make sure that any questions you have is likely going to help the rest of the community and our clients as well. So yeah, perfect. But yeah, I think
final thing from me, well, I remember, Colin, we've obviously moved the times, and we've kept the date the same pretty much, always a Tuesday, but we've moved the times to this new format again, where we've got 2 sessions. Obviously, it takes a little while to be able to maybe free up some space in your diary, or move to the new one. So I think hopefully we'll see more people come along to these and be able to make them work. But do also let us know if there's a particular reason why a certain time does or doesn't work. It's very hard to manage time zones across various different continents. What we've tried to do with these 2 is have one that's really properly dedicated to the 3 main time zones we're working, I guess, which is UK, where we're based, Europe. The first one is more sort of aimed at Australia, that kind of time zone, and then the second one, this one being more for US. It's still very hard to know when the best times might be. So if anybody has any feedback, just either let us know in Discord, or just send us a message, and we can revisit them maybe. I think hopefully it's got to be better than just one at a pretty inconvenient time for most people, I think. So hopefully this will prove better.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, once we start doing it a bit more often, I still know that I think summer holidays are probably starting to come up in the States now as well. So, but yeah, I think once we start doing it a bit more often, I think it's going to be easier for everyone. But yeah, I think looking at the times that used to be previously done, I think this should at least give everyone a better access, and yourself and I aren't up at midnight.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah,
okay,
Yeah, we don't have any questions, so I think we probably can just leave it as that. But yeah, like Luke said, if we are gonna have the videos ready to send out to everyone in the next day or two. Definitely go and look at the first video. There might be some additional questions that other clients had around the billing side, and any other questions there as well. So definitely go check out both recordings. And then yeah, we'll hopefully see you guys at the next one.
Yeah, sounds great.
Perfect.
Yeah, thanks for
Awesome.
joining everyone, and yeah, we'll speak soon.
Perfect. Cheers.